Alright, what's good, beautiful people? My name is Richard Scorpion. How's everyone doing? Welcome to Cereal Bowl Chat. I didn't get to do one this Saturday because, well, I wasn't really available or I didn't have the time. But I just got this cereal box here that is about to expire. Already has gone stale, but needs to be used up, like my sister said. So we have blueberry cereal is way past age. It'll still be good to eat because it's cereal. It doesn't really expire. So, um, notifications, burgers, zippers. I'll be joining the game Skype Grips panel here soon. Um, there's a blueberry cereal. I'm gonna try this stuff because I haven't had it all year. Thank you. It's still good. Alright, got the glasses so I can see. Yeah. I'm gonna grab something else. Alright. This is also a retro cereal because it came originally back in the 60s and 70s, I believe. But that's a blueberry cereal. Um, yeah, I'm about to take a taste of it, see if it's any good. So, not bad. Alright. So, as I always say on Saturday Cerebral Chat, folks, the retro tradition originally of Cerebral Chat was to do on Saturdays only, because that's the day the normally. Alright. What's going on, bro? I poured myself all of the food you guys had said. I'm gonna get back to my stream, bro. I love you. Thanks for the like, you guys. Thanks for the like, guys. One like equals one Lego brick, and another like equals one imaginary cerebral box prize for all the children. Yeah, I don't have a lot of cerebral box prizes, nor do I have any, so. But as Robocop once said, it's a thought that counts. What? What? That cat's meowing over there. What you want? Yeah. Yeah, one of the things I used to watch on Cerebral Saturdays is The American Tail. Um, they had a cartoon series, so I just watched that. One of the main things I used to watch was an old, I don't know if they still have it as a channel on TV, but they used to have Boomerang, the old cartoon channel. Kids WB, 4Kids TV, JetX. JetX, the old TV channel. Mainly where I watch my Marvel cartoons, Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go. Um, what else? Damn, I know that wasn't the only thing on that channel. Koopa, Yin Yang Yo, all them good TV series. Now, as you can probably tell in this part of the background, you can probably guess what character cartoon is right next to my finger here on the screen. If you haven't yet, all the top row characters in the background, on me, you'll be able to hear me without my picture there. All the top row characters behind the logo and everything are Nickelodeon characters. That the one On the right, you can tell is Rocco's Modern Life. You can tell on the left, it's all Rugrats. The bottom ones are all live action sitcoms on Nickelodeon and all that I never really got into as a kid. So now the only couple of live action sitcom shows I got into as a kid were things like iCarly, Drake and Josh, um, Amanda Bynes show. I tried to jog my memory back to 19, no, to back to early 2000s of my memory. Um, also remember watching Sweet Life on Deck before it got popular, and also Sweet Life of Zack and Co. when they're living in the Tipton Hotel. I also remember from that series they had the Disney Channel website, and there was a um, food fight computer game that I used to play very competitively because they were online players. So there was also another online Cartoon Network game that was a multiplayer online game that I quite personally remember playing. It was called TKO, Cartoon Knockout or something. Oh, guys, kind of another. But yeah, because there were a lot of old cartoons back in the days I specifically remember from my childhood. Um, Another one that was on, I think either 4Kids TV or Kids WB is Cubix. Cubix is basically about this robot that becomes friends with this Japanese-looking guy and kid, and it's like a CGI 3D thing, and I'm so yeah, I remember Cubix. I specifically remember Cubix when I had gotten the coloring book from the book fair in I remember getting Cubix coloring book from the book fair specifically uh, in was it kindergarten? No, it was first or second grade, and basically um brought that coloring book home after buying it with lunch money and all that. Um, that was one of the first coloring books I ever owned that I actually was aware of that I actually liked. There were a couple of coloring books I had grown up with, like Teletubby coloring books. We had from the back archives of my memory. We had WCW or was it WWF? One of the older wrestling federation or whatever coloring books. I had had that cubic scramble, and I specifically remember about second grade, I believe, or so, that type of year. My mother got me the original Mario Brothers live action version coloring book, I colored right through that, and it was a good comic book. I think I made a masterpiece out of that coloring book, even though I wasn't really able to stay inside the lines. So that was my coloring expertise back in the day, and it was not that great. My penmanship, I would write with a pen right now, it would still not be that good. I was never very good at penmanship. Um, I also, some people don't notice it, but I do have a lisp a little bit, and they, my grandma had signed me up for speech therapy. I don't think they had passed me for some reason, but I don't know why. I still have trouble with my S's. So, um, yeah, that's school life back in the early 2000s. I was not born into the 90s, so, other than 98, but what I mean is I didn't grow up in the 90s. So, a lot of times, with the shows I watched back in the day, a lot of times those TV shows started in the mid or late 90s, and they continued on a little bit into the early 2000s. That's how we got to see as kids, let alone owning VHSs that were, some of them were in the 90s, some of them were in the early 2000s. There were some VHSs that were old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cartoons, not even the movies, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cartoon series that we had owned from mother and her collection. This was kind of before the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series came out, and then the newer Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series came out in the early 2000s or late 90s. And but the one I'm talking about is the 80s cartoon let me think of another example. When April O'Neil had the big yellow jumpsuit. That's the iconic thing that people remember about her because it was a cool jumpsuit and a lot of people were attracted to her for some reason. Um, Other things I remember, why I remember that's the old 80s cartoon is because there are repro figurines of the 80s cartoon with April O'Neil being the jumpsuit and all that. We had, I think I remember in my childhood years, we had a couple of Ninja Turtle action figures and all that growing up. I'm not sure if I have any left over in stores in my toy box that we had saved, but we'll see about that. Um, what are some other cartoons that were popular back in my day of being a child? I shouldn't keep saying back in my day because I'm still living the day. So, um, I'm not gonna lie. Childhood was pretty fun. Trick or treating. When I first went trick or treating, it was a lovely experience. Although I wasn't used to it, because give or take the autism plus being a kid, you don't know how to handle being out in public nighttime a lot while you're walking around. And this is not only was it my autism, it was also the fact that I was a child and I was naive. Um, so trick or treating took a little time to get used to it. I believe we attempted to visit the 92 Moose block party in, was it Warville, Maine or something, somewhere in Maine. Because 92 Moose was the old radio station we used to call in through the cell phone number. It was also the radio station we listened to frequently. That and Mountain of Pure Rock and 105 TOS in Maine. So, um, I'm not gonna lie, it was quite the experience to um, live in Maine for my childhood. I mean, I remember Pom Pom Beach or whatever, Popham Beach, and Sunset Beach, and Lincoln Beach. Some of those places were funny. Well, I liked Popham Beach and Sunset Beach. Lincoln Beach, the year we went to Lincoln Beach, we had gone there late, or we had gone there when it was stormy, and it was freezing. I mean, freezing. Lincoln Beach was cold that day. And on top of that, I'm not an onion fan, and the sandwiches that were being served were onion bread bun sandwiches. And boy, as a kid, was I not having a good day. I don't think the rest of my family was having a good day either that day because we had gone to a beach. I'll say it again, a beach during cold weather, which it's a double whammy because the water of the ocean makes the air even cooler, even the hot sun, because of certain reasons. And we went there, I tell you, during a weathery day, and it was cold. Um, I could barely eat my sandwich, not only because of the onion, but also because my hands were shaking like a leaf. Like if I were to give an example of a like an example, my hands, I was trying to get it to my mouth, and they were doing this sort of thing, you know. So I really could not eat that day, and I lost appetite because of my hands shaking that day. What was another good thing about Maine when I lived there as a child? And now, may I remind you, I've never been on YouTube during my time in Maine. I was a child. There was no Maine like YouTube channel. The only person I remember having a YouTube channel in Maine was my sister Bernice. Bernice had a channel, but I think it got deleted because of she just didn't use it no more. So I think she had deleted it years before, and yeah, it was basically deleted. So. Hello.
Oh, how are you today?
Just doing a cerebral chat. Talk about the good old days.
Good old days.
Anyway, so yeah, folks, yeah, you can try to find some footage of me on YouTube in Maine, but you won't find it. Like there was no YouTube career I had in Maine because I was a child. Um, things in Maine were quite different back then than what they are now. For example, and I know I can say this on YouTube because there's plenty of people talking about it.
No, that shit's deleted.
But um, but
Remember that one time the school told me to take down one of the school.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear. I have noise canceling headphones.
Oh, I remember one with spanking in it that I was told from the school to take down.
Okay. Okay.
It's not really a good memory, but I'm sorry. Memory.
Yeah. But yeah, damn, I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, the thought.
One of the things I remember about living in Maine that was right now they would not have back then is the law against THC. Um, we weed was not legal back then in Maine till years to come after that. So, and also, I think Maine's kind of gotten a little bit different.
Yeah, they're legal now. It's legal to smoke there.
Yeah, I know that's what I was saying.
Yeah, don't flaunt it though. I'm still waiting for New Hampshire to pass that bill.
Yeah, I hear,
bless
buddy.
America.
God bless America. But I remember in Maine on our street we used to. At least I think I think I remember I created the game that we used to play because it was my own imagination. At first, people didn't want to join in, but there were a couple of my friends that thought it was a cool idea. I says, what if we create a story? Because I used to write little paper stapled together books. And I said, why don't we create a story that's based on our street and how the season of Halloween? Because, like I said, if you think I'm all about retroing nowadays and it being Halloween, you have not tasted or dipped your feet into the waters of the fact that I used to be a Halloweenaholic back when I was a kid. I would not stop talking about it. I wouldn't shut up about it. There would be school days where I was told to draw a picture of a house. I drew a haunted house. And it's like, damn, so. And on top of that, Halloween was the costumes, okay? The costumes were a lot better back then. They were a lot more simple, they were a lot more engaging. And not to mention, things were cheaper back then, a lot more affordable before freaking inflation came this era of time. And honestly, it was just, there was more imagination there when I was a kid. There was a lot more of a magical vibe going on as a kid in Maine. And once I moved to New Hampshire, that vibe completely disappeared for some reason. That's okay. But I even had that the cool, awesome vibe wasn't really that magical anymore when I was in New Hampshire because I had all these toys, a big toy box in '64. Um, and please note, for historical reasons, give me a sec. Please note for historical reasons that I had found out about, I didn't find out about Rugrats Scavenger Hunt and have the cartridge for the N64 till we moved to New Hampshire. Because when we were living in Maine, we had, a bunch of N64 cartridges, but we did not have the ones we had when we moved to New Hampshire. Because the Rugrats Scavenger Hunt, I had no clue what it was. I had no clue how to play. I didn't know what the rules and the buttons and all that were until I got into the. I guess I didn't really find out about Rugrats Scavenger Hunt until I moved into the loft, which was like a overhang bedroom inside the house. It was up the stairs. You moved to right into the loft, so it was cool. 'Cause I felt like I was sleeping in my own little space, my own little space. Um, Other than that, I had a whole toy box full of toys. I believe that's the toy box, everything that's still in storage. So, also know that I had the N64. I believe the cartridges we mainly played back in Maine when I was a kid was Turok 2 Seeds of Evil, South Park, the video game. It's like an adventure shooter, first person, and we had Legend of Zelda, both Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. Um, we had, God damn it. Did we have a Bug's Life in Maine? I don't know. We'll live down the maybe list. We had Mario Kart, Mario Golf, but unfortunately we did not have the luxury of owning Super Mario 64. Now that my sister Bernice would emulate on her computer, which was a laptop, one of the first laptops I've ever seen in my entire life. You cats are fighting, so you're going. Oh, the cat's by my. Hey, come on up. So this cat's right by me, so. Oh, mommy, mommy. She don't want. Moving on. Because though some of the cats we had owned, well, the cats we owned in Maine were all different cats. We had one named Lucky, we had one named Buddha, Kenya, Gizmo. I think that was all the cats we owned back in the day. I couldn't think of the other cat's name. I don't know. The first dog I ever remember to the back of my knowledge is a Rottweiler named Rain. Then we got a Husky named Aurora. We got a Boston Terrier Pit Bull named Sparky after that. I don't. I think we had a Shih Tzu named Wyatt. Then we got Peekapoo named Maxie. And then we got other dogs when we moved here. So I think I would like to think that Maxie, the Pekingese Shih Tzu mix, Pekingese Poodle Shih Tzu mix, was the last dog that we ever owned living in Maine. So either that or we had another dog, but I don't remember. I mean, we did have a dog named Pixie in Maine, that's for sure. I just can't remember what breed she was. Um, Other pets that we had while I was a child living in Maine, we had Groucho, as in reference to Groucho Marx. Boy, does that bunny eat a damn carrot? Well, and there were so many cool things. I mean, I turned the hallway into a freaking Hall of Fame museum for different things. Um, Other things in Maine that are memories include my Legos, toys such as my Gravedigger Power Wheels. But the funny thing about Gravedigger Power Wheels now versus before, um, before you could open a trunk that was in the back, you know, open it up and put stuff in the trunk, you know, shut it, lock it, put a turn lock. That was it. And also the doors opened, was a hop in or anything. There was a turner key, you can make groom noises and sound effects. There was a radio and all that. It was souped up as a Power Wheels for kids, you know. My sister had the Barbie one. It did not have a back trunk. A normal Barbie Jeep. Hey, Jesse Prue, how's it going, sweetheart? Good to see you. But yeah, she had the Barbie Jeep and I had the Thanks for the hearts. Thanks for those Zelda life points. Um, I had the Gravedigger Power Wheels. It was, oh my god! Like our family were huge fans of Gravedigger back in the day. There were a couple of things that me and my mother shared for our favorite hobbies, our favorite things. Gravedigger, Elvis, and what else? And NASCAR, Tony Stewart. So that's what I used to share with my mother. So. And Jesse says, really good. That's good. That's good. Good. Alright, well, guys, I have to get out of here because I have to go join a panel before it closes. So, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Yeah, sorry, Jesse. You came late, so. You came a little late. I was only supposed to be on here 25 minutes, and it's been 37 minutes, so. I'm sorry, love. If you want, you can meet me on James Skype's panel, or meet me there in the chat. I'll send you a link to his channel. Never mind. Just, just find James Skype's channel, okay? I'll see you guys later. Peace.